What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Strikeout Beer Podcast. I'm RD flying solo on this beautiful, I don't know about beautiful. It's a soggy shit sandwich here in North Texas today. It's been raining for like 4 days straight. It's cold. It's wet. It's just disgusting outside, But hey, it's a beautiful day to sit around on your butt cheeks, watch some football. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go around the league. We're going to talk about every single game that happened today, and then we're going to mix in some MLB talk. First and foremost, cheers to you. Just want to get that out of the way. Here you go, right on the microphone. There you go. Dink. If you're listening on Apple, iPod, or was it Google, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you enjoy your podcast or stream your podcast, you can catch the video version of this on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch. I am having a pretty rough day, even though it ended awesomely for me. Cincinnati went into Santa Clara and beat the 49ers today. So it's pretty nice. Pretty nice little day. We'll get to more about that here in a second. I say we start T to B, as they say. I don't want to keep you here more than, say, a half hour, even though we are handling live with comments and stuff like that. We react throughout the entire show. But I think if we keep it tight 30, we get back to our seats to have a little snack and a cold one before the Sunday night game begins. Let's start off for the Battle of Jersey. I don't call either one of these teams the New York Nothings because they're not from New York. They're from New Jersey. The New Jersey Jets playing in New Jersey Giants, the stadium that they share. So is it home? Is it away? Does anybody care? No one freaking cares. But it came down to the wire. It really did. It went to overtime. The damn Jets end up winning with a freaking field goal in overtime against the New York Giants. Danny DeVito's not cousin, whatever the hell his first name is, last name is DeVito, had to come in the game. It was absolute bonkers. I can hear someone just sitting out there. What the hell is going on? That's a jackass. So you had the third string quarterback from New York pop in against Zach Wilson and the very stout defense of the Jets. Hey, what are you going to do? I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw a total passing yards of -9 yards for the Giants. I don't know if that's accurate because when I saw the graphic, I go, that math don't make no sense. So the Giants scored a touchdown and a field goal. The Jets put up a touchdown and 2 field goals, end up winning this one. Zach Wilson threw a touchdown pass. Was it Breece Hall? He's the one that actually received that. So, but I would say the player of the game right now has got to be Garrett Wilson. 7 receptions, 100 yards. Very good production. I was really surprised Allen Lazard caught 3 passes, to be honest. 3 receptions on 45 yards. Now, as far as rushing goes, Breece Hall only had 17 yards, and he didn't lead the team, but Zach Wilson did at 25. It was kind of a boring game to watch unless you're from up there or you're a fan of these teams. Very slow, very sluggish. The weather was terrible up there, so there you go. Moving on. Jacksonville Jaguars travel to Pittsburgh, take on the Steelers. If you caught the morning show on SB Fantasy Football, you heard me make my change of my prediction. I was going Jaguars, and then I talked myself into picking the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's right, folks. I talked myself into it. Kenny Pickett, I'm pretty sure, got hurt, but it didn't matter at that point because they were already sucking ass. Jaguars hung 20 on Pittsburgh, 20-10 victory. I mean, not a lot going on. Trevor Lawrence threw for 292 yards, a touchdown. Let me move this over here so I'm not constantly looking the other direction. You know what I mean? Let's give a little value. Oh, my God. If I hit that button, I was about to lose my mind. Ooh, Pittsburgh. What's up, Boiler? How we doing? I mean, let's just call them as we see them, shall we? I'm just saying. But, oh, crap. Now I lost my spot. There we go. Again, Lawrence threw a touchdown, threw an interception. Travis Etienne led the team with 79 rushing yards on 24 carries. Evan Ingram actually led the team in receiving. 10 receptions for 88 yards. He finally woke up. Who saw that coming? Travis Etienne, 3 receptions for 70 yards and a TD. Calvin Ridley, hey, guess what? He actually caught some balls. 6 for 83. Not bad, right? I don't think anybody else cares about this game. I don't, especially after Pittsburgh losing. I don't care anymore. Next up, kind of a nail-biter. This was a fun game to watch if you happen to catch it. The Philadelphia Eagles went to Washington to take on the Commanders. Eagles are 7-1. Commanders are 3-5. 38-31. Like, crazy. Jalen Hurts had 4 touchdowns, 319 yards. DeAndre Swift had a rushing touchdown, which was, I don't know if anybody watched because it was kind of the cheapest effing play on earth. Like they're doing the quarterback kneel down and they turn around, hand it off to Swift, and Swift runs it in from like 10 yards out. It is kind of cheap, but it is what it is. AJ Brown had two amazing touchdowns, 180 or 130 yards on 8 catches. Devontae Smith, 7 catches for 99 yards and a touchdown as well. Julio Jones got involved. I know that's something you're not used to hearing, even when he was a stud in Atlanta. He actually got in the end zone. He caught one ball for 8 yards and got a touchdown. But yeah, Jalen Hurts just showed again that he's dominant. Now, it was against a subpar Washington team, but Washington's no slouch by any stretch of the imagination. But, for them to be able to hang 31 on Philly, I think that's pretty good. Sam Howell had 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 397 yards. That is effing bonkers. And he was spreading it around, too. Logan Thomas had a touchdown, Scary Terry, Jamison Crowder, and Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson actually had 8 receptions for 108 yards. Now, that touchdown to Dotson, if I'm remembering this correctly, was in garbage time. So, but still had, good receptions, over 100 yards receiving. Count it. Moving on. The L.A. Rams went over to Dallas, Arlington, to take on the Cowboys. Now, let me tell you this. The Cowboys thrive against middle-of-the-road teams. Seriously, at home as well. Take a little sip there. Cowboys came out slinging it. 17 in the first quarter, 16 in the second, and then, kicked a field goal to third and a touchdown in the fourth. It was pretty much over. Matt Stafford got hurt. It looked like he broke his damn thumb. And then, after he busted it up, they're like, oh, let's sling it. Like, all of a sudden, he's pretty accurate, getting the ball moved around pretty well. And, yeah. And then they took him out. They put in Rippon, and it was over. Over. So Matt Stafford had a touchdown, an interception, 162 yards. And then Ripien, I don't know if it's Ripien, who cares? 42 yards, nothing else going. Royce Freeman got a rushing touchdown. And then Ben Sharanek got a receiving touchdown. The leader for receiving, it wasn't Nakua. It was not Cooper Kupp. It wasn't even Tutu Atwell. It was Darrell Henderson, 3 for 54. Crazy, right? Henderson also carried the rock 12 times for 31 yards. Royce Freeman, again, 44 yards. Yeah, it was disgusting from the beginning. Dak threw 4 touchdowns. Let me tell you, but he did get that interception. That's always going to be one of those things, a little Dak interception. He threw for 304 yards. They ended up bringing Cooper Rush at the end. No rushing touchdowns. Everything was thrown. The leading rusher was Tony Pollard with 53 yards on 12 carries. Nothing really else doing, for the rush game there. They were throwing it. Brandon Cooks had a touchdown, 3 for 49. Big player of the game here. 2 touchdowns, 12 receptions, 158 yards for CeeDee Lamb. He had a hell of a game. And again, like I said, Dak threw 4 touchdowns. He looked good back there. They always look good against teams that are not that great. Like, not even that good half the time. So, but as soon as they won, hey, trust me, get on Twitter and check on your Cowboy fans, because I guarantee you they're already getting their room reservations and everything. We're going to the Super Bowl this year. Guaranteed. All right. Moving on. We got the Minnesota Vikings traveling up to Green Bay to take on those Packers. They won 24-10. The biggest note to take away from this is that Kirk Cousins, I think he tore his Achilles. They're waiting on an MRI to look at it. You can go back and check the replay. He goes to plant his right foot. You can see the pop. You can't tell if it's the ankle, the Achilles, or the calf. But, if they're saying the Achilles, it's the Achilles. He threw for 274 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cam Akers got a rushing touchdown. Madison obviously led the way. 16 carries for 31 yards, average of 1.9. Their rushing game just sucks. It really does. Now, Osborne led the team in receptions this week, 8 receptions for 99 yards. TJ Hawkinson, 6 for 88 and a touchdown. Jordan Addison, 7 for 82 and a touchdown. But yeah, there you go. The biggest, I think, takeaway, like I said, is the Kirk Cousins injury, because Jaron Hall is not going to lead this team anywhere. Luckily, they were playing against the Packers because, to be honest, the Packers are 2-5. Minnesota Vikings are 4-4. Who cares, right? Moving on. Oh, boy. And if you caught the show earlier, I talked myself into taking the Atlanta Falcons over the Tennessee Titans. Boy, who knew Will Levis was going to show up? Will Levis showed up, slung 4 freaking touchdowns, 3 of them to freaking DeAndre Hopkins. So if you had to go up against DeAndre Hopkins this week, it's CeeDee Lamb. That sucks. Four receptions for 128 yards and 3 touchdowns. Unbelievable. Let's flip over back to the Falcons. I always do the away team first. Again, the Falcons were 4-4. Tennessee Titans 3-4. Tennessee Titans scored a touchdown every single frame of this game. Now, Falcons put up a field goal, then nothing, then 6, and then scored 2 touchdowns at the end, but wasn't enough. Old school Wizards in the hizzle. How you doing there, sir? How you doing, buddy? We're going to be talking about your team here in a second. Let's see. Heineke ended up coming into the game for Desmond Ridder, 12 for 21, 175 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he's got to be your starter next week. There's no reason to keep going with Ridder. Jonnu Smith threw a damn threw a pass in the red zone. I don't know what's going on out there in Atlanta. Bijan Robinson, some weeks he wakes up and runs for $1 billion. This time it was for 62 yards and a touchdown. Not terrible. But as far as passing goes, it was kind of tough. It was tough for sure. We're going to get around to all the conference games. Hold on real quick. I got a little alert here, and I just want to make sure, see what's going on. All right, there we go. Moving on to the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. If you know anything about the Miami Dolphins, they beat terrible teams. And what is New England Patriots, folks? Terrible team. 31-17. Patriots, Mac Jones threw for 161 yards, 2 touchdowns and interception. Nothing really going in the rushing game. You know, Ramondre Stevenson ran for 39 yards. Pretty nice little average of 3.9, but Ezekiel Elliott, 7 for 36 with a 5.1 average. Kendrick Bourne got himself another touchdown. He went 3 for 36, and then pretty much nothing out of that, especially fantasy-wise. And that's what I'm kind of looking for, is like fantasy-wise. Still a fun game to watch. Tua was out there just dropping dimes. He threw 3 touchdowns for 324 yards, had 1 interception. Raheem Mostert had a TD. He rushed 13 times for 46 yards. Then you had Jalen Waddle. He led the way. 7 receptions for 121 yards and a touchdown. Then Tyreek Hill was right there with him. 8 receptions for 112 yards and a touchdown. Cedric Wilson got involved. 1 yard reception. They're on the goal line, essentially. They don't hand it to Mostert, but they throw it to Cedric Wilson. Cedric Wilson gets himself a touchdown. 1 yard, 1 reception, 1 TD. So, again, it was the Patriots. The Dolphins still, I think, have not beat a good team yet, but you can only beat who's in front of you, and the Dolphins always look good doing it. So, there you go. Tua's freaking awesome. All right, this is another game that screwed me over big time and screwed me hard. The New Orleans Saints go to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Final score, 38-27. Derek Carr with 310 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns. Taysom Hill threw a pass for 44 yards. Now, Taysom Hill did rush in a couple of touchdowns. I don't know what the deal is. Why is this guy? He's got the most rushing yards on the team. Kamara had 59. Taysom Hill had 63. Kamara had a touchdown. Taysom had 2. Now, one of those touchdowns from Carr went to Rashid Shaheed and then Alvin Kamara, obviously. So Kamara had a rushing one and had a catching one. Kamara ended up putting over 100 yards up, but it was split. You know, obviously 59 rushing, 51 through the air. Not a bad day, really, if you want to think about it from a points per reception view or anything like that. Colts just, man, they had trouble. They had trouble going. This was a pretty fun game to watch. You know, the red zone, they kept flipping over to it because there was just a lot of action. Minshew threw for 213 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Zach Moss got in the end zone. I don't know what the deal is. Every freaking week you think Zach Moss is done. He comes back. It's about every other week, it seems like. Jonathan Taylor ran for 95 yards but didn't get a touchdown. Pittman he went 8 for 40. Got a touchdown. Andrew Ogletree got a touchdown as well. The leading receiver on the team, though, was Josh Downs. Actually predicted him to be pretty good during the SP Fantasy Football podcast early this morning. So I'm going to try to keep up with that, to be honest with you. It's a lot of fun to sit here for about 30, 45 minutes and just kind of go through the league. Oh, yeah. Man, those beers are delicious. It's so damn cold outside. I probably should have pulled out the whiskey, but I got a sneaky suspicion that we're going to do some whiskey on Wednesday. Next up, Houston Texans travel to Carolina and get beat. Carolina finally wins one. They're 1-6. Houston, Texas fall to 3-4, 13-15. Oddball score. It was a field goal fest, to be honest with you. I mean, Houston scored a touchdown, but I mean, the rest of that was field goals and missed extra points and whatever. CJ Stroud threw for 140 yards, no touchdown, no interceptions. But he did rush one in, and then Andrew Beck rushed one in as well. Nothing really else notable. Noah Brown led the team with 57 receptions on 3 yards. So Tank Dell came back. You're like super excited. 3 receptions, 16 yards. Oh, God, kill me now. You know what I'm saying? Bryce Young threw a touchdown and 235 yards. Chuba Hubbard led the team with 28 yards rushing on 15 carries. Adam Thielen, people started losing their mind. Like, I swear to God, 15 minutes into the game, oh, Adam Thielen's right back to being Adam Thielen. I go, what the hell does that mean? I mean, I was like, why don't you just calm down and watch the rest of the game? 8 for 72. Now, he didn't get in the end zone, but 8 for 72 is pretty respectable. Mingo finished up in second with 62 yards, 4 receptions. And then Tommy Tremble caught the touchdown. He caught a couple, 2 for 4 yards. That's it. Yeah. So Carolina gets their first win. Congratulations, Bryce Young. And they beat the Houston Texans. Texans lose to a completely defeated team. That's the most Houston Texan thing I could think of. Now, getting a little bit of later games, the Cleveland Browns go to Seattle. Now, this was a weird game. I didn't watch a lot of this game because I was watching the Cincinnati game, and then I had the Kansas City Broncos game on the other channel. Check something out real quick. There we go. The Browns were behind. So the first quarter, there's 24 points scored, right? Then it just goes kind of cold. You got a touchdown here, field goal here, touchdown. But yeah, it came out lightning hot. The Browns in Seattle, they fight. Browns finally take the lead, and I'm like, the Browns are going to win. Here they go. Yeah, not so much. They end up Brownsing it up. Seattle walks away with the lead, or walks away with a win. Now, PJ Walker threw for 248 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. Kareem Hunt ran one in. He had 14 carries for 55 yards. You know, they were always talking about Jerome Ford wanting to play today, and I was like, there's no way he's going to play like a full load. There's no way. He's hurt. His ankle. He's got a low grade, I think, high ankle sprain. So, Njoku got in the end zone. He had 4 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. Amari Cooper, 6 for 89. Not bad. I've seen worse. I've definitely seen worse. Now, the Seahawks, a different story. Geno Smith, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 254 yards. Jake Bobo, he ran in. He had 1 carry for 3 yards and got it in the end zone. Kenneth Walker led the way with 66 yards. Carbonet ran in. He had 53 yards, so not terrible. You know, my wife asked me every single week, do I play Tyler Lockett or do I play and I'm like, okay. This week, I'm going to play Tyler Lockett this week. Okay, this week I'm going to play, not going to play him. He went 8 receptions for 81 yards and a touchdown. I did say that he probably would have a better day today because DK Metcalf was going to be playing. DK went 5 for 64, and Jagba went 3 for 36, got in the end zone. So, I mean, when DK Metcalf's in there, Tyler Lockett benefits from that, but he hasn't put up any numbers like this yet this season, except for maybe week 1 or week 2. I cannot remember, but yeah, it is what it is. But, I got something wrong here. There we go. I got to go back and refresh some of these things because some of these scores aren't ready for me. All right. The Bengals go to Santa Clara to take on the San Francisco 49ers. They end up winning 31-17. Bengals put up 14 in the first, and then nothing in the second, a field goal in the third, and then 14 to finish off the game. A lot of turnovers by the 49ers. Brock Purdy threw back-to-back. 2 of his passes consecutive were picks. And then, they had another pick. Bengals had another pick, but then the defenders had kind of went kind of low on Purdy, so they threw the flag. And then the following play was a fumble. It was a rough day for Purdy. They only put up a touchdown in the first, a field goal in the second, and then a touchdown in the fourth. Go ahead and take a look at the players here. Burrow threw for 283 yards, 3 touchdowns. Mixon, 87 yards on the ground and 1 touchdown. Burrow ran for 43 yards. He was scrambling all over the place. And every time he went running, I was like, slide. He's like diving forward and shit, scaring the hell out of me. Jamar Chase had 100 yards, 10 receptions, 100 yards, and a touchdown. Had a hell of a day. Higgins showed back up, 5 for 69. And then Tyler Boyd, 3 for 40 and a touchdown. The other touchdown, I can never say this guy's name, Andre Iosivas. I don't know if that's right. It's got to be close. But Logan Wilson had an interception along with Pratt, and I think we had, like I said, there was some fumbles to be had out there. Niners, Brock Purdy had a rough day. He threw for 365 yards and a touchdown. He had 2 interceptions, which sucks. Christian McCaffrey had 54 yards on the ground. Brock Purdy actually outrushed Christian McCaffrey with 57 yards. McCaffrey got in the end zone twice, 1 receiving, 1 rushing. CMC had 64 yards in the air. Kittle had a hell of a day. 9 receptions for 149 yards. Brandon Ayuk, 5 for 109. Pretty good stuff, but yeah, I mean, it was just how it goes. They dropped, I think it's 3 in a row. They've lost 3 in a row. It's kind of a tough way to go right now for San Francisco fans, and I'm pretty sure they're on a bye next week. They've got some things they got to figure out. Here comes the biggest effing upset of the day, and I'm telling you right now, it's absolutely aggravating as shit. I'm not even kidding. The Chefs go to Denver, and Denver just beat the piss out of them. Now, there was word that Mahomes was sick. He didn't look right anyways. It's like, why not at that point do you just play your backup? Just let your backup play. Why do you want to go out there sick against a team 2-5 Broncos? A backup could have got it done. I don't get it. Mahomes went for 241 yards and 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. I don't even think they didn't score a touchdown the entire game, did they? I think it was just field goals. So a field goal in the first and 2 field goals in the second. Broncos scored a touchdown in the first and second, and then 1 in the fourth, along with a field goal in the fourth. Muff punts. I think like McCole Hardman, I think he gave you the Kadarius Toney feeling. You got to bench his ass. I wouldn't let him touch the field for a while because it is bonkers. Pacheco led in rushing at 40 yards, and then Mahomes was right behind him with 20. Through the air, obviously Kelsey's always going to lead the team, but he only had 58 yards on 6 receptions. Rashee Rice was 4 for 56. Justin Watson was 2 for 42. But my goodness, I was almost annoyed that I had the TV on that game for so long, to be honest. I was just sitting there watching, like, what the hell am I watching? And of course I cut Russell Wilson the week before, and I put in Trevor Lawrence. Russell Wilson only threw for 114 yards, but he threw for 3 touchdowns. Javonte Williams had a good day, like 27 carries, 85 yards. And then McLaughlin was behind him, obviously, with 33 yards. He's their backup. Russ ran for 30. Jerry Jeudy finally found the end zone. He only got 2 receptions for 50 yards. Cortland Sutton got 2 receptions for 29 yards and a TD. And then Javonte Williams also caught the 3rd touchdown, 3 for 13. These numbers are not great. They're not crazy. The defense was all over Mahomes all day long. Mahomes, obviously, he looked sick. He didn't look himself. So what are you going to do? I mean, to be honest with you, if Mahomes isn't 100% healthy and doesn't have Kelsey, are they even a threat to anybody? You just got beat by the Broncos. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like Russell Wilson had the game of his life. Now, the defense had a really good game, but I don't know, man. I don't know who the hell the team to beat in the AFC is. The NFC is a little bit different. We're going to talk a little bit about the rankings and stuff like that here in a second. Now, the last game is this last game of the week. I think Baltimore Ravens travel to Arizona, take on the Cardinals. Cardinals suck. Ravens beat them 31-24. Now, Cardinals put up 17 points in the 4th. You know, yeah, it's kind of garbage time, but hell, they made this game a lot closer than it was. They didn't like the Ravens, I don't think, cover the spread. I think the spread was like 7.5, or even 9 at one point. Lamar, 157 yards, not great. 1 touchdown. Not great. You know who did have a hell of a day? Gus freaking Edwards. 80 yards, 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. I'll sit there. Of course, I'm playing freaking somebody that's got Gus Edwards. I'm like, what the fuck is going on around here? Mark Andrews caught 4 for 40 along with Justice Hill. He was 4 for 40 as well. Difference was Andrews got a touchdown. That was really it. I mean, it wasn't nothing to really write home about. Lamar, after just attacking the Detroit Lions, comes out like, whatever. I mean, Lamar only rushed for 17 yards. You know what I'm saying? Not great. Not great at all. And coming up here in about 25 minutes, you got the Bears versus the Chargers. Both, I mean, Bears are 2-5, Chargers are 2-4. Chargers are heavy favorites in this game, though. I mean, give me the Chargers, obviously. And I need Austin Eckler to have a game. I also want DJ Moore to have a hell of a game. I'd like to see a shootout somehow, but I don't know if Justin Herbert's got it in him. I need Herbert to ball like he's supposed to. You know what you do? You play like you got paid. You got paid a ton of money. I need you to ball. I need you. I need you. I need you. Keenan Allen, Palmer. I always have so many freaking Chargers on my team at the end of the year. But yeah, give me the Chargers on this one. They should win. I hope they win and they cover, obviously. Monday night game, 7:15. The Raiders go to Detroit, take on the Lions. Raiders 3-4. Detroit Lions are 5-2. Lions coming off a drumming from hell. I mean, obviously they're heavy favorites. The Raiders are awful. Just, oh my God, hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. The Raiders are awful. This should be no challenge at all for the Detroit Lions. I'm just saying. So let's see. Excuse me. I'm actually looking for the standings right now. That's the reason I'm thumbing around. Just want to give you an update real quick on all the standings. Let's start with the AFC. AFC East, Dolphins. We got Dolphins, Bills, Jets, Patriots. The Dolphins are only a game up on the Bills. The Bills are only a game up on the Jets. And then the Patriots are in the cellar. AFC West, you got the Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, Chargers. I mean, Chargers need to get going, right? I mean, Raiders and Broncos are 3 games behind the Chiefs, but they're really no threat. The Chargers are the team that actually could threaten the Chiefs in that division, the AFC West. AFC North, Ravens 6-2, Steelers 4-3, Browns 4-3, Bengals 4-3. A cluster, an absolute cluster. All teams are, I think, have a chance, but I think obviously the Bengals have more of a chance to take on the Ravens. The Browns are right there as well. Is it Kenny Pickett? Kenny Pickett went down today for the Steelers. You don't know what's going on with him. So, to be honest, until something pops up and it's like he's good to go, I don't see the Steelers doing anything. It sucks, too, because they look like they were about to turn it on, man. They were about to just, get around that corner and start going. I mean, yeah, they are 4-3, so they got a winning record, but I think they could have done much more. I think they could have done a lot more. AFC South, the Jags 6-2, and then everybody else is 3-3 or 3-4, 3-5. Texans, Titans, and Colts. Texans and Titans. Who's threatening the Jags? The Jags are so iffy, up and down, but they somehow are 6-2. I don't know. I went against them today. I was like, man, but the Texans lost to Carolina. Titans with Will Levis. I don't think Tannehill touches the field again. I don't think so. I think it takes some crazy ass, I don't know, injury, something, a stupid bonehead play. I don't know. But I think the Titans are now occupied by Mr. Will Levis. Will Levis will be leading them to probably nothing. NFC, let's start with the East. Eagles are up 7. Let's see, 7-1. They're up 2 games on the Cowboys. The Commanders and Giants are just falling apart. I mean, Commanders have 3 wins. The Giants have 2. So pretty much it's going to be between the Eagles and Cowboys. Obviously, I think the Eagles are going to win this division because they're the best team in the NFC. Is that crazy? Is that crazy to say? I don't think so. I think it's the Eagles' division to lose, to be honest. And it's also, I see them going back to the Super Bowl at this point. Then you got the West. The Seahawks are 5-2, 49ers 5-3. Like I said, Niners just lost 3 in a row. They are spinning. They're going to be on a bye week. Seahawks, they look pretty much in command. They went toe-to-toe with Cleveland, even though if you think Cleveland's not a great team, guess what? They are. They got a good defense, and they had a backup a quarterback again this week. The Rams are in absolute chaos and trouble. They're not winning anything, and the Cardinals aren't doing anything. So the Niners and Seahawks will fight this out. If Brock Purdy gets his groove back, almost said jive, gets his groove back, watch out. It could be a lot of fun to watch, or a lot of fun for us to watch, and a lot of fun for them to play, obviously. NFC North, Lions 5-2, Vikings 4-4, and then you got the Packers and Bears 2-5. This division, I really didn't have an opinion. I thought it could be the Lions or the Vikings, but if Kirk Cousins goes down, and he has gone down, waiting on the final results to see if he can come back or whatever, it's going to be the Lions division. It's going to be the Lions division to lose, to be honest. And we'll talk a little bit more. NFC South, this is one of the worst divisions in the league. The Falcons are 4-4, Saints 4-4, Bucks 3-4, Panthers 1-6. Falcons, you can never count on them week to week. Saints, the same thing. Not to mention, who cares who comes out of this? This you might be a Falcons fan or a Saints fan, Bucks fan, Panthers fan. No, y'all are the only ones that care about this division because there's no threat from any of these teams doing anything in the postseason. It's not. Don't be mad at me. It's just how it is. Now the Bucks, yeah, they won a Super Bowl here recently with Tom Brady. Tom Brady gone. Okay, Falcons ain't doing nothing. Saints ain't doing nothing, buddy. Problems on problems on problems. Who do I think's going to come out of this NFC? I mean, it's going to be the Eagles, Cowboys, Seahawks, Niners, Lions. I'd like to see. I think the Cowboys might actually get themselves a win in the playoffs this year against a solid team. I think if they run in, like say if they run into the Lions, that could be very interesting. Seahawks, I don't see them really. I mean, they could win a playoff game, yeah. I just feel I'm so strongly pulled towards the Eagles in this, and I think the Eagles will plow right through the playoffs. I think they're going back to the Super Bowl, to be honest. Unless something crazy happens. But yeah, give me the Eagles at this point. This is week 8. I know. And now to the AFC. I mean, I want to say the Dolphins. I don't see that fight and whatnot from the Chiefs, man. There's so many things have to go right. Like you have to, Pat Mahomes has to feel 1,000%, right? He's got to have Kelsey on the field. They have to have Chris Jones on the field. They got to have Taylor Swift in the building. What if she's on tour in December, in January? Can they win a game without her? I don't know, man. I don't know. Ravens look really good as well. Dolphins and Bills. I always pick the freaking Bills, but man, they could break your heart in a second. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be fun to see the Dolphins in playoffs. But I'm always a big fan of watching a Buffalo game in Buffalo, snow falling all over the effing place. Gonna be freaking awesome. Real quick with the that's it for the NFL. We're gonna flip over to the MLB to close out our night real quick. Our Texas Rangers are right now tied with the Diamondbacks 1-1. Rangers took the first game. It went to extra innings, and then El Bombi hit a walk-off homer. And then the following night, they got jeromed. They got small ball to death. They got hit out of the – I mean, it was Diamondbacks from the beginning. Montgomery did the best he best he could, but they were just overwhelming, to be honest. Now, the next game is Monday. They got Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all in Arizona. Rangers play really good on the road. I hate that there's a game on Halloween, but I'll have the TV out front, handing out some candy. I'll probably have one with the Halloween on it, because I always have Halloween on outside, or like Hocus Pocus or something goofy that'll play throughout the night, and then obviously the game. So, but yeah, right now, tied up at 1. I feel like the Rangers, they got Scherzer on the bump, if I'm not mistaken, for on Monday. Yeah, Monday game. I don't know. It makes you so nervous. And as you see these games, as you're going through each one, every pitch, and it really sucked. I'm just going to say this. So game 2, when the commentators said that the guy behind the plate was the best, the highest percentage of accuracy with balls and strikes, and then he had like the worst night of his life. That's how it was like a red flag. Like, it wasn't going to be a good night for umpiring. Now, I don't blame any of this. Now, yeah, it affected a couple at bats, more than a couple, and it affected some hitting and whatnot. But you can't blame it on that. You can't blame it on the umpire. But the Diamondbacks just outplayed the Rangers. So again, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they're in Arizona. Then they come back home on Friday. You need the Rangers to lose one more game. And I'll tell you why. Because you want to celebrate a championship, if you can get one, knock on wood, in your home stadium. Now, do I think they win? I think the Diamondbacks are a hell of a team, an absolute stud of a team. They got great players. They got good pitching. So they know how to small ball. They can nickel and dime your ass. You know what I'm saying? It's tough. Hey, Lizzie, how's it going? But yeah, let's go Rangers. And tonight, like I said, I can't wait to sit back just a little bit more and enjoy my Sunday, because football, it's been so much fun today. Now, it is the Chargers, it is the Bears. They're both 2-win teams, but, screw it. It's our last hurrah before the Monday. Monday. But it is Halloween week. And then also, I think we're going to go live Monday night. Alan and I, we're going to have a beer or two. If we don't go live, we're going to do some beer reviews, and we're going to post them, and we'll, obviously release the audio and the video of those. And then Wednesday we'll be live here together in the studio, in the room, bedroom, whatever you would call it. I remember some slapdick was like, "It's funny you guys call it a studio." I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. This is what we call it. You know what I mean? It's not like a studio office or whatever. It's a bedroom in my house. It's like, what are you talking shit for? What's it matter to you? But we've just released a ton of beer reviews. We did a bunch of them, and we're releasing them every single day. We let them go about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Facebook and YouTube, so you can check those out on our Facebook and YouTube pages. I also plan on doing more SB Fantasy Football talk, which I'll probably do the show tomorrow, if not Tuesday. I also got to mix in a waiver wire Wednesday. But hey, that's going to do it for me. I got to go. I'm going to go hang out with the missus, watch some football, enjoy my Sunday night. This cold day, it's snuggling weather. You know what I mean? Put the fire on a little bit, get under the blanket and play. What is that? You know what I'm saying? If you don't know, ask your wife. All right. I'm RD. This is Strikeout Beer. I'll see you next time. Adios.